Today, we found this squishy on the side of the road while we were driving. We didn't record the process of getting it from the side of the road, but here's a little reenactment of how we adopted this beautiful,
plump,
voluptuous hamburger squishy. So we're driving in the car, me and my dad are having a conversation while all of a sudden he says,
"Oh look, there's a squishy on the side of the road." Or a squeaky toy.
I say, "Oh my gosh, can we go get it?" And he says, "Yeah, we can go over there." So we pulled into the parking lot, I went on the grass and said, "Oh my gosh, it is a squishy." And then I picked it up. And there it was, ta-da! This thing is a pretty okay squishy, minus the fact that it has tears and holes, and it's really dirty because it probably got ran over multiple times, as you can see. Why was this on the side of the road? My guess is that it went a little something like this. Some kid tore it up so much that they decided to just throw it out the window and abandoned it. Truly a sad story, but now it is in my good and lovely hands.
Also, a quick side note.
This is a special case, not really a series.
It's very uncommon to find squishies on the side of the road normally.
So Squishy Rescue won't become a series. But if you guys want to see me repair some of my old squishies, comment down below. Now onto the video law.
But I guess since this video is inspired by Moriah Elizabeth's Squishy Makeover series, it's time for squishy roasting. This thing is filthy. There's a bunch of cracks, some small and some big, but aside from all that, it's got a pretty nice squish. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's a hole going from the top to the bottom of this. I think that's enough being mean to it. Let's get on with fixing her up. First things first is to wash this nasty thing, because I'm not going to paint over all this dirt and grime. Now watch it go from dirty to clean. It completely changed the color of this burger. I don't know if you can tell that much on camera, because for some reason it looks like I edited the video, but my camera's just acting weird. But it completely changed color. It's like a whole brand new squishy. Minus all the paint peeling and stuff. But we'll ignore that because we're about to fix that right now. Although washing it seemed to have made it lose its squish. Just kidding, it's just wet. As you can see by the paper, once it dries, it should get its slow rise squishing back. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and I'll come back to it tomorrow. The next day. 'Tis been 24 hours and I have had to do a little bit of surgical clamping to it. It was taking a really long time to dry, so I just put a bunch of binder clips to help circulate the air through the middle so it would dry faster. Wait, I mean ventilate, not circulate. But yeah, I'm going to come back tomorrow and hopefully it will have dried by then.
So in order to clean the squishy, I dunked it in a bunch of water and put soap on it, right? It's foam, and I treated it like it was a sponge. And I wrung it out, and now it's wet and taking ages to dry. I should have read an article before I washed it because it turns out mold can grow in it because it dries so slowly. So I really hope that does not happen to my squishy. But I am lucky because this squishy seemed to have sustained a hole in its injuries and journey on the road, so maybe that'll help with the ventilation. It's still open with all the clips and stuff, so I really hope it does not grow mold because that would be really gross and disgusting if I pick it up one day and it has nasty mold on it. Literally disgusting, but I just wanted to say that. We'll hope for the best.
The next day. I am getting so impatient with this thing. It will not dry. I even put some paper clips so it could open the end of it up. It's just a straight hole so all the air can just go through and it's really good and properly ventilated. But it's now been 2 days since I soaked it in water and washed it and everything, and it is still damp. And the only solution is to blow dry it. So that is exactly what I am about to do. And as you can see, it got its slow rise squish back. So that's some progress. Blow dry, blow dry, blow dry. I have no idea what to say. So I blow dried it and it actually didn't take that long for it to dry. It wasn't that damp in the middle, but I still wanted to blow dry it and I'm impatient, but I didn't realize that these clips came off, and when I took them off, there were these dents and I made new holes in the burger, so yay, I made the problem worse. But it's okay because I'm just going to glue everything up and everything will be totally fine. But it's just really disappointing how I kind of made the burger a little bit more injured. So sorry, burger, I added to your injuries while you're in the hospital. So as you can see on the bottom, there's a hole, which I did not cause. But in order to patch that up, I'm going to take a piece of foam from on the inside and just shove it in there. And it's a small hole, so it won't affect the squish at all. And since it's in the middle, you won't be able to tell that it's gone. And I had some trouble looking for my scissors. I cannot find my scissors. What in the world? I have 100 pairs of scissors. So yeah, I struggled to find some scissors, but in the end I didn't even need it because I just ripped the chunk out with
My bare hands.
Except the chunk was a little bit too big, so I just ripped it in half and then put the rest of the chunk back inside of the squishy again, where it first came from. And then I grabbed some fabric fusion and started fusing the parts together. The reason you use fabric fusion is because it's nice and flexible and you don't feel a hard spot in the middle, which no one wants hard spots in the middle of their squishy, so that's why I use it, and of course Moriah uses it too, so that's why I got it. And then with a hair tie, I'm just gonna tie it up because I lost my rubber bands. But I hope it's not too squished right now because I don't know if that affects it or not. But now we just wait for it to dry, which takes about 2 to 4 hours according to the bottle. And honestly, not to be immature or childish, but this looks like a literal butt, so... Hey, y'all. I did a couple changes off camera. I did these a couple days ago and decided not to film them, but I glued it together and I sealed all the cracks with a white matte fabric paint, and I sanded it a little, which I didn't think was important enough to film, so I decided not to. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems more slow rising than before, so I think that the glue did something, but I don't mind it. And the reason I did this 2 days ago is because I just now got the supplies to paint it today. I got a bunch of fabric paint and containers to mix the paint in, so today is painting day. And I did some research by watching some of Moriah's old videos, and you have to mix matte with slick paint in order to have a good result. So now I'm going to start painting this lovely squishy. So when I started to mix the paint, I first did the lettuce color, and by the way, this green bottle would keep constantly clogging the whole time, so it took me forever to figure out how to get it unclogged, but I finally did it. And so the first thing I'm doing here is just making the lettuce color because this green is a little bit too dark, and also I had to mix the white matte paint in with it. So here's the color that I came out with, and I'm putting it in that container and sealing it. Now for the brown color for the bread, it took so much paint to figure out how to do it. I'm not good with color theory and all that stuff, but it took me so many tries to get the correct color of bread because it just kept turning into this grayish brown color, which is not appetizing on a burger. But I finally got it to this linen color, and turns out you have to add a lot of yellow to get it, and then I just started painting the squishy because I finally got this color and I was satisfied with it. So here I am applying the first coat. Alright, we can just ignore those little poo-poo stains at the corner of the video, but here it is. It looks a lot darker on camera than it is in real life, but it took forever to paint. I would say at least 8 coats, but to speed up the process I used a hairdryer in between, so that really helped a lot. But yeah, it took so many coats to cover all this up, and it's still not all completely covered up. You can still see the white a little bit underneath, but I'm gonna cover that up when I add sesame seeds later. So here's what it looks like, and now it is time to do the bottom of the bun. And now here is a time lapse of me doing the bottom of the bun. As you can see, I did multiple layers and just blow dried it in between all the layers to dry it quicker. And the reason I have it on a Hobby Lobby bag is because the paint on the other side is a bit tacky since it hasn't cured for 24 hours yet. So it can stick to the paper, and I just don't want that to happen and have little paper chunks everywhere on the top of the bun. But as you can see, I did 100 coats on this thing. And I didn't even record some of them because I went to go somewhere. I don't really remember. But yes, this is a very tedious and time-consuming project. So, I'm like the best YouTuber in the world, right? I'm so good that I forgot to hit record when I was painting the patty. I'm so sorry about that, but I mean, it's not that interesting. I'm just painting multiple layers of paint on the patty, just like I did with the buns, so don't worry, you guys didn't miss out on anything. But now it is time to do the lettuce. And as you can see, this thing only has tomatoes on it, so because it has 4 tomatoes, I'm going to turn 2 of them into lettuce and 2 of them into actual tomatoes. Well, not actual edible tomatoes, but you guys know what I mean. Alright, and now it's time to get to painting 100 layers of green on the lettuce tomato thing hybrid. You know what I'm talking about. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you suffer through that because, well, in the middle of it, I went to go watch the new movie Megan. So it got painted off camera. I came back from watching the movie, which was actually pretty okay. Not the best movie ever, but yeah. And now here, I'm starting to paint the tomatoes. And I'm doing it straight from the bottle, the nice vibrant red. And I just spread out the paint with the paintbrush because that's usually how you use paintbrushes. Obviously, can you tell I'm stalling? And now I'm also going to do the other side, obviously, of course. Just spreading it out with the paintbrush. And now I'm doing the cheese. Cheese is also going to be straight from the bottle. I hope the cheese is not too neon looking, but we will see once it's dried because it is currently drying right now, so we'll see. Alright, so it has dried overnight and here's the result. So I tried a different technique on one cheese slice corner and it came out all smooth, but the rest are really chunky. This one right here is my favorite, right? And like I said, the rest are really chunky and there's spots that you can still see everything in. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second coat right here, just to smooth out all the chunks, or at least try to. And then I'm going to blow dry it to just dry it a little bit so it's not sticky and gets everywhere. And then with some matte paint, I just started to add the mayo, which my hand was super shaky, so I tried my best to do a straight line, but it was super hard. And right here, I'm testing out how I'm going to do the sesame seeds, as you can see. And they turned out okay. Some of them look like sesame seeds, some of them don't, but it took a lot of trial and error to figure it out. And I messed up on some of them. And I tried to cover the little seam with the sesame seeds, and it didn't really work. The seam right here, where the hole was that I glued together, you can still see it in the middle. And sorry for my head poking in. It was really hard to get it nice and detailed, but now it is done, and time to see the final result. So, I am very pleased with this squishy. Although I had a lot of mistakes and I learned a lot of new stuff, for my first squishy, I think it's really good. This isn't really a squishy makeover. Like I said, it was just a squishy rescue because I didn't really change the design that much. So that's why I'm not classifying it as a squishy makeover. I didn't turn it into a dessert or anything. I just renewed it, made it nice and clean and pretty again. I don't know if that counts as a makeover, but my favorite part is definitely the sesame seeds. I really like the detail of the sesame seeds because me personally, I have not seen a squishy with sesame seeds on it. So I just really like that detail, and also they pop up because I used puffy paint. And since I added the green, I feel like it just makes it look way better than the original design, which only had 3 colors of brown, yellow, and red. And the green, I think, just really makes it pop. So I really enjoy that. But anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you would like to see me do another thing like this where I repatch and redo all my old squishies, because I have some ripped up squishies. I mean, obviously this one was a special case because we found it on the side of the road, literally. But if you would like to see me paint on more squishies, then comment down below or like this video, and it would mean so much if you subscribe too as well. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye!